think there was the expectations, weren't as high as I think other teams in that playoff run. But for us, it was just like, why not us? Like, we're in this too. It's anything can happen in this series, and I think that 2-0, which I still believe I should have shot, if you ask me. But man did make a bad pass to him, so luckily enough he finished that. But
when I stepped on the ice, I never backed down and I never stayed down.
And I was vicious and I was malicious, and I don't care.
He's a freaking madman. Look at him going to town. That'll be a suspension. That'll be a fine.
Welcome into the Raw Knuckles podcast. With us today, I've been waiting for this one. He played hockey for a former teammate of mine who coached him at Wisconsin, Cole Caufield, coming in with us today. Cole, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come on with us. I want to, God, I've watched you, certainly your time with the development team and World Juniors, and just the talent on that team, and you being one of those guys. I go back, when I think of you, I go back to the draft. Now, you were projected to go around 8 in that draft, 2019 entry draft. And I will never forget, okay, Philadelphia's picking at 14, Montreal at 15. Philadelphia, everybody thinks, oh, there's no way they're not going to pick Cole Caufield. And they don't. And Mark Bergevin and the scouting staff almost fell off the fucking chair, saying, oh, my God, we got him. What was that like for you when you projected it, to go around 8, and then you're sitting there and you haven't gone yet? What was that feeling like for you?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously look forward to that day for a long time, and the day comes and it's the longest day ever. So for me, there's a lot of just sitting around waiting, and you never know when your name's going to get called or anything like that. But for sure, it was worth the wait because any team around there, or behind there, I wasn't too excited to go to, but I was just lucky enough to be picked in Montreal.
Yeah, and I think they were lucky enough to get you. There's no question about it. And looking at that draft, God, from the U.S. development team, what were there, 6 guys, your teammates of yours at one time, from Hughes to Turcotte to Zegras, Boldy, Knight, York, like incredible.
Yeah, I think there was 8 first rounders.
It's incredible. What was it like playing with that group? Like, was that like just an incredible, like your best year of hockey?
For sure, it was the best 2 years. Practice wise, I think that's where we all kind of got better at playing against all those guys in practice every day. It felt like you're coming to the rink every day to play a game, and that was kind of how we did everything. It's how things work there, in the gym, off the ice, video, everything like that. You just feel like you got to prepare like it's a game every day, and you really grow up there. And I think that's why we had so much success.
What's your true height? I had to ask. I'm a small guy, and it says I'm 5'9", but I'm more like 5'8". Are you 5'7"?
Yeah, I'm 5'7.5", but don't forget the half.
All right, I respect the half. Do you think that had to play with why you dropped a little bit in the draft? Would you say?
Yeah, for sure. I think teams are kind of intimidated by that. I think everybody's looking for something different, and it wasn't up to me that day. So,
yeah.
And again, I'm happy where I landed. I couldn't be more excited to be a Canadian.
All right, Cole. We got to go back to Steven's point, and I say that because, God, your dad played hockey and actually holds a record there, doesn't he, for scoring goals? Your dad.
Yeah, he sure does.
And your grandfather played hockey, Stevens Point. So you grew up in that hockey family. So first time you skate, you're 2 years old. They had you on skates at 2 years old. What was it like growing up in that environment? And at what point do you think that you set your sights on maybe playing for the Badgers and then set your sights on the NHL?
Yeah, for me, it was always just going to the rink, being a kid, and being happy and kind of falling in love with the game. For me, it was kind of my brother who he was out there and I always wanted to do what he was doing. So I think that's why I was out there at such an early age. And then for me, it was just all about, making my youth team. And then, I was lucky enough when I was 12 and 13 to go play for Team Illinois. And, my dad would drive me just to games. And I can't thank him enough for doing that. It was to Michigan, Detroit, or it was to Chicago every weekend. So it was just nonstop. But just being around the rink every day, I think that kind of made me fall in love with the game. And then for me, it was just all about playing college hockey. And that's kind of what you grow up as a kid is that's kind of your NHL. You go to the Kohl Center and you kind of just see the building and you're just like, this is it. This is where I want to be. And for me, that was really exciting to be a Badger there. And I think once I got to the program, I felt like the NHL was kind of in sight and a goal that, I wanted to reach. And, it all kind of comes together pretty fast, but, you got to live in the moment and just say your goals that are more reasonable.
Your dad drove you to you played in Team Illinois. How long? I'm trying to put that all together. I'm from Chicago, so I'm thinking to myself, that was where exactly are you driving from? Like, are you just outside Madison, or where are you at in Wisconsin?
No, it's like right in the middle. So it's like it was a 4-hour drive to Illinois when we played there, and then
Wow.
8 to Michigan. That was I don't even know how I did it. I was getting out of school, which I was happy about there. I was lucky, but for my dad to drive me, every weekend, whether it was Chicago or Detroit, it was wasn't fun for him, but he helped me out a lot, and he was my coach growing up, and I was just, again, I can't thank him enough for doing that.
So,
Definitely worth it.
yeah, for sure. Listen, the driving's one thing. Did your dad help you with, listen, certainly a pure goal scorer. Did your dad help you? And if he did, what are some of the things he taught you about shooting the puck?
He was my coach all the way growing up till I was, 12 and 13. And it was never really too into detail. For me, he was always just about quick release and getting it on and off your stick as quick as possible and trying to place the puck where you can in the right spot. We never really talked too much about getting into crazy detail about it, which is something that I've always looked back and wonder, what he could have said or something. We still talk about it to this day now, but for him, like it was all about doing these wrist curls, every night before bed. He made me do that and things I hated during the time, but looking back on it, without those things, I don't think I'd be even close to where I am today. But again, I think it's just quick release on and off your stick. Is he was a pure shooter in my opinion when I've seen his highlights, but it was a long time ago. But he's been a big help for me. He's always pushed me. So again, like really thankful to have him in my life.
Well, I got to tell you, having lived here for quite a few years in Montreal, and you coming here, I was certainly happy for you. Um, it's a difficult place to play, but I go back to the World Junior there, and I want to talk a little bit about Tony and your time there and what he did for you because this guy, I absolutely loved him the day I met him. He's a wonderful person. He's a terrific human being. But the World Junior in 2021, winning the gold medal. Now, I love that being an American, Tim's American, and living in Montreal. These people up here go absolute batshit if the U.S. wins anything, especially hockey. They go batshit crazy because their team doesn't win. So I couldn't have been more happy when that happened. But that team, that group of players, like when did you really start? Because there was some iffy games there. When did you really start to believe together as a group that you could win that gold medal?
I think ever since we got together in that summer camp, summer showcase, and then obviously there was a lot going on, with the bubble and stuff. But for us, it was just like the band was back together almost. I know that the program, all you do is work for that U18 tournament, and we ended up coming up short and won a bronze medal there. So I think it was all about coming around and trying to find a way to get it done, and just to have all those guys and do it with them made it even more special. But we've always been a close group. Love to compete, and I think that's kind of where we took off is getting back together in those practices, and then once the games came, I think we all felt comfortable and we knew never really got too high or too low on ourselves, whether we win or lose a game. But for us, it was just a sigh of relief to get it done, and we couldn't be happier with the result.
So Wisconsin, your time with the Badgers, your rookie year, you put up decent numbers. You end up winning the title, right? Scoring title there. And then there was some talk that you may leave to come to Montreal. And did Coach Granado have something to do, and your dad have something to do with you saying, "Hey, wait a minute here. This may be a little too quick for you. Let's stay another year in college anyway." How did that go?
Yeah, I mean, I think after our season, came to an end, I think I was just more, rattled about how that went, and I was like, I really didn't accomplish much here, and I feel like at that time I was mature enough to realize that if you're not going to dominate at this level, what are you going to do at the next one? It's only going to get harder. And so I sat down, I talked with my parents, and told them how I felt about that. And then I had a conversation with Tony, and um, he was agreeing with all the things I said. And he was like, "You're going to be the guy. You're going to be the guy that's going to help this team win and push guys to be better." And I think the team we had my freshman year, Keandre, Ty Emberson, Turcotte, Holloway, like we were all so young, and I think with all that talent, I was just like, how do you not win? And it was just because we were so young, and I think you got to learn, the right way to do things and how to win hockey games. After talking with Tony, he just really put me in a comfortable position to want to come back because we had some guys leave obviously, and the team wasn't going to be strong roster wise, but for me it was just all about going back and helping these guys and kind of making a memorable year out of it and kind of getting some more wins and seeing how things went. But again, I just wanted to dominate at the level I was playing at, and I felt like my first year I really wasn't doing that. And it's easy to just jump to the next level because the media's on you, or everybody just expects you to play 1 year and leave. But for me, it was all about doing something productive at that level before kind of racing to the next.
Yeah, I think you dominated. No, I'm kidding because you won the Hobie Baker
It
that
was
year.
it was worth it. It was worth it going back for sure.
How was what was Granado's coaching style like? Because I grew up with Donnie and Tony. Not grew up, but like as a youth player, like obviously they're a big family. I had Osiki in Green Bay. He was your assistant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so I know Oz, like when he was very defensive. What was Granado like? Is he more of an offensive style coach, or what was his style?
Yeah, for sure. It was offensive. I think for me, he taught me kind of D zone first, get the puck, get out of your zone, and then you can go play offense. And for me, he kind of really slowed the game down and just made me think about all areas of the ice. And my freshman year was kind of tough. We lost a lot of games, and it just didn't feel right. It was kind of new to me coming from the program team that was so successful. And I had some talks with him about being frustrated and stuff, and he kind of toned me down every time I'd come to him, and he just kind of make me relax a little bit. And I think I learned a lot my first year to kind of just take it within yourself to kind of pull the rest of the group forward. And when things aren't going well, you can't look down on yourself. You just got to come in the next day and try to grow yourself and push the team. And I think that's another reason why I wanted to come back so bad, is to kind of become more of a leader and give the guys on the team like a better start to the year, better end, and make some memories with those guys, because it was that COVID year, so we were spending every day together, kind of only hanging out with ourselves. So we kind of grew as a team, and I think that's another thing that helped. And Tony talks about always loving your group and loving your team, and I think we came a long way from the first year I was there, and everybody kind of pulled the same rope and was going the same way. And I think that's another reason why we had success. But for coaching style, I think he's just one thing at a time. Um, it's not really offense or defense. He just wants us to play the right way, and success will come from back checking, working hard, doing the right things. And I learned a lot from him, and I still talk to him every day, pretty much. So um, yeah, it was a lot of fun being there, and great 2 years.
Yeah, he was awesome. Awesome teammate. Certainly one of the guys I took care of when he first came. Him and Leach came at the same time from the U.S. team, and just a couple of young lads when they come in, and Tony, his maturity level, even at that age, I was like, a lot of people were like just shocked how mature the kid was. You get a lot of kids that come in there like they don't have a clue, but Tony was certainly ahead, and a wonderful guy. Um, it's awesome you got to play hockey for him, and so you finished that second year, and now it's time to turn pro. You sign your entry level, and then you come into Laval. First game, scored 2 goals, get an assist. I can't remember that my time back here, and I moved back here in '09, but the anticipation for a player coming to the Canadians like you. Now, you must have felt that in some sense. You know what it's like in this town now. What was that like coming here to Montreal? Did you feel some pressure? You know, the history, the all the Stanley Cups, and I'm sure you've heard that with that comes a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectations. People right away thought this kid's winning the Calder Trophy. Did that bother you at all?
Um, I think when I first signed and I got there, kind of made it easier that COVID was going on, that there was, not a lot of people around the rink, not a lot of people bothering you or talking. And for me, I think that made that transition that much more easier. And my real rookie year last year was, I could feel it, like getting back here, that first game, it was just like way different. And it's something I think I learned pretty fast. It's obviously frustrating, but for me, it's just like take it one day at a time and be where your feet are. And I think that's something that things move always really fast, and if you can slow it down and just try and focus on where you're at and do the right thing that day, I think later on you'll find success and it'll become easier.
So that first year, here, you played 10 games, you get called up 10 games, you have 5 points. Then the playoffs happen, and you're against the Leafs, and the Leafs are up 3-1. All too well do I remember this, and I'm sure you do. And this lit a fire with this team. That giveaway by Galchenyuk, you and Nick Suzuki, the future of this organization, take off. And I think a lot of people were surprised you passed the puck to Nick Suzuki instead of burying it yourself, but incredible. And it turned that whole series the other way. You win that game, and then we know what happened. You go to the Stanley Cup final. How, like, what a feeling that had to be for you. Here you are coming in, and people are looking for these types of plays from you and Nick Suzuki, and you get it done in that game, and everything turns on its head for this hockey team. What'd that feel like, being such a young guy coming into this situation and then having such an impact in that series for sure?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy. Everything again, it happened so fast. Even playing Laval and then getting called up, it just to me, it honestly just felt like another game. And I think for me, that helped out a lot. But you get to hate the Leafs early on, and I
Yeah.
think that's kind of another thing that I learned. And so that obviously felt good. Um, but for me, I remember, I was out the first two games, and then I kind of got in and we lost two and we were down 3-1, but there was never really a quit in the group. I think there was the expectations, weren't as high as I think other teams in that playoff run, but for us, it was just like, why not us? Like, we're in this too. It's anything can happen in this series. And I think that 2-0, which I still believe I should have shot, if you ask me, but man did make a bad pass to him. So luckily enough, he finished that. But I think that's when we kind of turned it around. We got to go back home, down 3-2, won another game in OT. And then I think game seven, it was just, I don't know if we were just confident or what, but it just felt like just another game, and there were no nerves around us,
They
and
had all the
we got the
pressure,
job done
right?
there.
Game 7, they had all the
Yeah,
pressure. They're at home. They're supposed to win. They've lost in the first round the past whatever three seasons in a row, just out. And that pressure, and you certainly looked like that when you went in that game. You looked like, man, this is just another game, and ended up just dominating that team. It was incredible. Uh,
it was crazy.
There was no fans then, right?
I think there was like 150 or 100 in Game 7 they let
Yeah.
in, but
So
um,
when did your parents, did they get a chance to see you in person that like those games like that year, or no? Or that had to be hard with on your dad and your family.
yeah, they didn't get to a game till the conference finals in Vegas. I think that was the first time, and then they went to Vegas and Tampa, and that was it. So it was nice to finally get them to a game. I think they were dying watching on
I
TV every
bet.
day, every game. So yeah, it was nice to have them there.
So Cole, you go to the Stanley Cup final. We know what happens after that, and the season ends. And you know, Shea Weber, great leader, he steps away from the game. Kerry's hurt. We know what happened there, and you come into the next season, same coach, and things don't go so well for you, right? You seem like you're struggling out there. You seem like honestly, you seem like you were lost and you were trying to find your game, and it was never coming. And what was that like for you? Because pretty much everywhere you've gone, you've had that success, and this is like all of a sudden you've kind of hit a wall, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, here he is, the NHL now. He slipped in the draft to 15. He's not the biggest guy. All the question marks start coming. What went on during that time? And then you end up getting sent to Laval again. And how difficult was that on you, like emotionally? Not an easy thing after what you've been through.
Yeah, for sure. Like just to be honest, it was awful. It was a tough start for pretty much everybody on the team. I didn't like where my game was at. You start losing games, and then you start gripping your stick, getting frustrated. Um, I think everybody in the room coming to the rink every day was just like, we need the next one, we need this, we need that, and I think the pressure just kind of got to us a lot after going to the final. You kind of expect to kind of be pushing again and kind of coming around. And, we had a decent team. I think going in, I was really confident where we were at, and again, I still felt like I had to make the team and improve myself and kind of put a lot of expectation on myself. And I think that when things aren't going your way and you're not even getting opportunities to get shots in the right areas and you're not putting yourself in good spots, kind of gets on you a lot faster than you'd think. And then I kind of kept thinking like, oh, am I going to get sent down? What's happening? What's going on? And then it did. It was obviously tough news for me, um, but I think the people around me kind of talked me through it, and I just had to really grow up then and just be like, yeah, this is where I am. This is why it happened. You weren't doing well. Go down there, work hard, and get out of there as fast as you can is kind of the mindset I had, um, and kind of never go back. And I think that's where I really realized every day matters, and you can't take any day lightly where you're not even skating and you're just going in for a workout. So for me, it was tough times down there. Obviously, you see the guys on the team in Montreal. You kind of get to talk to them, but not being around those guys kind of hurt me the most, and just makes you appreciate every day you have in the NHL. And that's something for sure I'll take forward.
Well, credit to you. You went down there and you didn't sulk. You got to work, and you threw up 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists, 6 games, and then there's a coaching change. Now, Dominic Duchamp, um, you know, there's been a lot said, and this town, how it gets in the media, gets crazy, but people actually blamed him because the expectation here in the media, and now you know what it's like here, was Cole Caufield's going to win the Calder Trophy hands down. And then when things don't go good for you, a lot of people blamed him because you didn't win the Calder Trophy, which is unfair, no question about it. He even come out and said hearing that really sucked and it hurt him. And he's not a bad guy, but he's certainly, and I know Dominic, but he certainly seemed like he lost the ear of all the players in the room, and things things just did not go well from there. And listen, there's a lot of outside influences, COVID, all that stuff. I get it, but a new regime comes in. Bergevin's gone, and now they make a change. I heard from talking to Nick and Chris Wyman, and they told me when Marty St. Louis came in that room and that first time he spoke, and you don't have to repeat what he said, but apparently it was like the most profound thing he's ever heard from a coach in his life.
Obviously, I haven't been in the NHL long. Had one coach, and Marty walks in, and I think all of a sudden it was just like a switch went off or something. Like things change around the rink. I think everybody was excited to be there, excited to go to work every day, and I think just that little change. I mean, wouldn't say it was little,
big.
but
It's big.
it kind of it was big change. Yeah, but I mean, for me and for everybody, I just think everybody kind of got to restart and reset and just we knew where we were at in the standings. Now it's just how can we get better to go into next year? What can we learn? What can we do to become a team that knows our identity, that knows what we're going to do every night and how to play, and kind of just focus on us and not really about the teams that we were playing. How can we get better at those things and at our craft? So I think everybody kind of got a little extra jump out of that, and without the expectations of, because I think at that point the expectations were out the window. I think now we were just focusing on every day, trying to get ourselves better, and the games were just added on practices. And I think every game you go out and try to win, but if we can do things that we want to do rather than trying to change our game to play against other teams, I think that's when teams are going to have to start changing how they play against us. And I think that's kind of the way we wanted to look at it. And I think we were competitive every game. I don't think there was a game where we felt we were out of and all that. So there's a lot of energy at the rink every day, which is a lot of fun. And it's good to have a new face around the rink and a kind of a legend too, to say the least.
Yeah, no, we had him on, and I agree. I think, and people don't realize like a coach matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not to blame the old coach, but when you get a guy that, did he communicate with you right away and just, kind of, because that's a big thing in my book of like just communication. I mean, was that, individually, like one-on-one with you, did he come in and communicate with you right away?
Yeah, I mean, he talked to every guy individually, kind of got to know us. I mean, it was such a quick turnaround that he was trying to get to know us too. So it was kind of different around the rink. Like he wasn't the official head coach, so he was trying to kind of find his like how he was going to do things. Obviously, it was a big jump from the team he was coaching before, but to have his mind and how his work ethic and how his brain works, I think it was good for everybody to kind of see that. And he kind of got our heads to go on the same way, pretty early on. And I think just his energy and like, for everything he's done in the hockey world, he had our attention for that. But, you're kind of wondering like, what's this guy as a coach? Like, how's he going to act? But it's just, he's all about work and doing things the right way and kind of playing our own style. And I think that's, it's fun. It's up tempo. It's, the practices are fun. They're up and down the ice. They're quick, but they're hard. And, if the work gets done the right way, you're on and off. And I think, some of the older guys like that too. Get your work in, get off, and kind of made that more fun that way. We were playing small area games in practice, and it felt like I was back at the program again. So you're kind of just having more fun on the ice, and I think that went a long way for our team.
So Cole, Marty comes in, and again, this kid wasn't drafted. We know what he did. He friggin' career he had is incredible, and I've heard him in interviews over the years. I've got to meet him, and he's just a wonderful guy. How about for you? How did it work with you personally with him? Did it help you that, all right, he's not the biggest guy, right? He's a small player in this league. He's been through all that shit, and he's been through it at a time where this league was pretty violent, you know. compared, and not that it isn't today, or not that it can be violent today, but the extent of it before was a lot crazier. And he survived all that, and not only survived it, he excelled in that environment, which is not an easy thing to do. And did that help you, him being a smaller player, and some of the things he worked with you or spoke with you about, where, because your game took off. I mean, let's face it, it took off once he got
Yeah.
behind the bench.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like growing up, I wore 26 because of the guy, and it was really weird seeing like he was our new coach, and I just all of a sudden like perked up and was like, no way, like this can't be real. Um, but I mean, just playing for the guy, you want to do well just to impress him and stuff like that, and everybody did. And I think for me, just being able to have like those one-on-one meetings about last game or the games coming up, the way he thinks is without the puck, because you don't play with the puck on your stick all that much. So where you can put yourself to be in a better position, how you can see the ice before things are coming. You got to predict what's going to happen based on what you see. Don't rush to get to anywhere. And just all these things that, you've thought about, but never really put into action. Like this guy's brain works way faster than anybody's I've ever seen. And just always like, what's next? What's going to happen next? What's your next play? How can you put yourself here? And all these things, like, it's so cool for me because I love learning these things, and to have a guy like that kind of teach you the way. And he's been there obviously before, but to have us like that similar stature, just kind of him giving me tips and tricks on how to find success in these little things that aren't really too big in the score of the game, but the whole outcome of the 60 minutes, like it's a pretty big deal. And um, all those little things that he talks about is just it's fun to listen to, and can learn a lot from because he's been there so much, and it's really nice to have around the rink.
So cool. And Marty, let's just say, all right, I remember when I come in the league, right? I was really naive about a lot of things in pro hockey, the pro game. It like looking back, being in college and U.S. team and all that, thinking about playing pro hockey one day. What are some of the things maybe that shocked you coming into the NHL? Holy shit, really? Like, is there anything that you were like naive about, or were like, shit, this is the way they do it? Or
Yeah, well, it was there's obviously COVID when I got there, so things weren't per se normal, but just like flying everywhere. We did it in college, but like your own plane, there's food on the plane. Guys are, I don't know, playing cards. You're just sitting there like, what's going on? You look to your left and it's Shea Weber, and you look behind you, it's Carey Price. I'm like, what am I doing here? Like this guy, I'm like, how am I with these guys right now?
yeah,
And um, I think I'm a likable guy, but I would just sit there and listen to him. I think one of the first times we were in Toronto before the playoffs, I was gonna go after dinner. I was just gonna go up to my room, and Shay goes, "Where are you going? You're not going to bed." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to bed. Like, no shot. What are you talking about?" So I go back down and I sit down, and the guys are just hanging out and sit at the table. And I don't think I said one word, but the amount of stories I heard that night was just like, it was so cool to just be around and just listen to those guys. And they were so welcoming, right away for a young kid like me. And they've all been there, but for me, it was just all about just listening. I didn't even want to say a word. It was just one of those nights where you kind of feel like you've made it in a way. And it was really cool to just be around those guys. And so obviously it's tough, Shay's gone and whatever, but luckily I got to sit next to Carrie in the room. So that was kind of the also cool thing. You're getting ready for a game, and you're just tying your skates, and you're like, oh, there he is.
yeah.
He's just everywhere. So it's just like the way they handle themselves around the rink, you learn so much from. But just seeing those guys every day, it just really makes you appreciate where you are, and makes you work that much harder.
I had the same. The playing was what I didn't play much in the NHL, but when I my first game, that was biggest thing too, was the plane ride. I was just like, you pulled up, you drive up to the plane. There was like a buffet on there. Like 24 hours ago, I was like in the middle, like by the shitter on a bus, driving 15 hours. And I remember the first plane ride we had, as we took off, Brad May, he like folded like it was like a, I don't know, some foiled kind of dish tray, and he flattened it out, and he just comes sliding down the aisle. Like he was like sledding down the aisle as this plane's taking off. And what about no, I mean, and you're right. It was like that moment. It was like, what the fuck? It's like I was the same thing. Like, what am I doing here? Um, what was it like? So this year was kind of the first year you really experienced as an opponent. I thought the best place to play as an opponent was the Bell Center. And so like this year was the first time you've ever experienced, that electrifying crowd. Like, what was that like for you?
Uh, it's the best place to play a hockey game. You can't even describe it. You just have to go. Like for me to even in the finals, like it felt like there was 100%, but just 50 whatever it was. And then you go into the first game and it's like, I feel like we're in the cup final and it's the Tuesday night. I'm like, what? This isn't real, like whatever. But it's unbelievable. I mean, the fans in the city, they just love our team and they want us to do well. And they'll let you know if you're doing well and they'll let you know if you're doing bad. So that's just kind of how it is, and I think everybody knows that, and it's never going to change. And I think that's why it's the best place to play a hockey game. And you go to all these other cities and no atmosphere feels the same because it might be quiet at times. I think it's just because everybody's watching. You're not going to get that in every building, and their excitement for hits, goals, whatever. It's like no other. And I still remember Carey's first game back. You're going out for warm-ups and the place is just packed, and all you want to do is just watch Carey in warm-ups and just see what he's doing. I'm just trying to focus on the game, but I can't because this guy's out here. And it's just cool. It's the best place to play in the league, and I think most guys will say that too.
Yeah, you hear that often, right? And it's funny. The old Forum was an incredible building. Though, the original 6 teams and the original buildings were unbelievable. And I had the opportunity to play in that building, the Forum. It was, and when we left the Forum and came to the Bell Center, I never played in the Bell Center, but the fans came to the Bell Center, and that's the big thing. There was such an aura in the Forum, but uh, it took a while. But boy, the people really made that building electrifying. I haven't talked to anybody who doesn't like playing in this city. Now, there are people who would never play here. And there were guys over the years who could have signed here, French guys from Quebec, that said, no way am I going to play there, because they couldn't deal with the pressure. They didn't want to deal with that pressure. And I happen to think if you're the real deal and you want to play hockey, that this city will bring the best out in you as a hockey player. And I've already seen the way the city has embraced you, and the future that you look like you're going to have here is going to be a good one. And just to be able to play in this environment is a treat. And not only that, but play in this environment now where, man, things are starting to turn around here and things look good. You got Nick Suzuki, right? We saw what just happened in the draft. How excited are you with this young group that's going to grow together and maybe one day bring that silver chalice back into this city where it belongs?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting to be a part of this, kind of young core that we're building. You can just see the excitement not only in the fans, but I think within our room. And we've had guys leave that big parts of our team, but we've also had guys stick around and new guys come in that we can all learn from, and can always fall back on those older guys. And I think the older group that we have here, the Gallagher, Price, everybody like that, like they're just guys that you want to learn from and guys you want to be like. And because they've been here so long, you appreciate all that they've done, and you just want to like I said, be like them, but it's just true. Like you want to be that guy someday, loved by all the fans, for their work ethic and for how they do the right things and stuff. And but the young core that we have, like I want to win with these guys. It's the people you go to work every day with, and for me and Nick, it's like you just want to win. And whenever that happens, like you put in the work every day. It's just something that you just want to build off of and kind of lead the group in the right way and just make your teammates happy. And for me, it's just pulling my end of the rope. And I think there's a lot of special talent that we have picked up and that we've already had in the room. And um, I think there's not one bad teammate on our team too. So everybody kind of gets along. Or whether you're older or younger, you feel like you're worth the same as everybody else. So I think that's kind of the vibe around the room is really positive and exciting right now. And that we're very optimistic about how next year's going to go and how we can learn a lot and grow as a team.
Yeah, you know, I look at this team over the years, and one of the areas they were lacking in was center ice and size. They were a small team, few good sized guys. It seemed like this draft, they made a concentrated effort, not only to get bigger up the middle, bring another center iceman here in Kirby Doc, but um, bringing in Slafkovsky. Like, this kid is this kid's a beast.
Unit.
It just
Yeah.
seems like
He's two of us.
Is he not? Yeah, is he not fit for this city? What in your early going here, this kid looked like he is just gonna he's gonna fit right in.
Yeah, I mean, right off of day one, it was just like you see this guy on this bike, and you're like, I've done that bike before, but no, sure as hell I didn't look like that. He gets off the bike and he's just laughing, not even breathing hard. I'm like, what? But for sure, I mean, great player. You watch him in the World Championships. I think he was the MVP, and playing in the pro leagues there, like you kind of learn a lot, you grow, and I'm just excited to get to meet the guy and hopefully be his teammate and for a long time. So he's exciting to watch, and he's a big boy. So hopefully he'll have a lot of success going forward.
How's his English?
I haven't talked to him in person yet, so we'll teach him a few things for sure.
Yeah.
You sure will. Geez, how about this city? Now, you love the Bell Center, love playing in front of that crowd. How about coming in and being in French Quebec and kind of learning the ropes of this city? What are some of the things you just love about this city?
I mean, the food for one. I don't think I've been to a bad restaurant yet. I know everybody says that, but it's unbelievable. I think the layout of the city is great. You got Montreal in the back, just looking over everything, and you got the big buildings, the river, and the bridge looks nice. It's not always nice to drive on, but
No.
no, it's great. I love the city. Being able to shop downtown. You basically have everything within 10 minutes that you'd ever need. So, I love it. I think I loved it from day one when I was driving up. But
How about the fans? How about the fans when you interact? You're walking down the street because, listen, I've dealt with it and understand it, and the people are great here. But how about you? How's that make you feel? Like, you were on, Wisconsin kid on, hockey player on campus. Everybody knows you. Hey, how are you? But then you come here in a city like this. What is it like to walk around and interact with the people here for you?
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I think they all respect you and they all look up to you. So the nice 2 minutes that you have, you can give to them and really make their day. And I think that's something that you want everybody obviously to like you, but there's special moments that can happen at any time walking down the street. That's just really cool to see, and they're so passionate about the team, and it's just really cool to see. And I don't think you're getting that anywhere else. Where there's plenty of other sports teams that maybe people are looking for that guy on the football team or basketball team. Like it's really special what we have here, and it's honestly just crazy that this is it's real.
What's your status? You single, girlfriend? Were you free? What's going on?
Not gonna put that out in the public, but yeah, we'll keep that behind the mic.
Being from Wisconsin, like, I went to Duluth, and I mean, you like the outdoor stuff, fishing and hunting stuff? Did you grow up doing that?
Not really fishing and hunting. I played football and baseball growing up, so I
Okay.
felt like I was always busy, but I love being outside. I love the lake aspect of things, being on the water, surfing, stuff like that. But for me, just doing anything outside, I love to do.
You a golfer?
Golfer in the summers, 100%.
What's the index at?
Handicap's at a 10 right now, so we're
Oh,
we're slowly getting there, but we gotta we gotta dial it back in. I think I know Zegras is coming into Michigan this weekend, for a couple weeks, so we're gonna have some matches, that's for sure.
How about Trevor Zegras? Like, incredible. This kid got incredible hands. The shit he does, it's like I scratch my head. Like, you've been around it, you've seen it firsthand, but to see the shit he does, like, eh, are you amazed by some of the stuff he does?
I mean, I've seen it before, even when we were 16, and it's just like I'm like at that time, like you're never gonna be able to do that in a game. Like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, it's cool. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, now it's just like natural to him. And I think he's just a really special, gifted player. And he's worked on it for so long. It's just stuff that he's kind of just natural to now, which is crazy because some of the stuff he does is just like either why are you trying that or just like how are you doing that? And he's fun to watch. I'll tell you that. I think was it Allen or Monty in net for that one goal that he scored against us at the Bell Center. Too bad nobody was there to see that. That was
Yeah. I saw it on TV. Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, that was just insane. But he's a special kid. Love him. People have their thoughts about him, but great kid.
Well, it's funny, like, and I think the league has gotten to the point where they're accepting those things now. There was a time guys did that; they'd want to hunt you down, and I'm kind of glad that's passed because to be able to see somebody do that in a game, it's fun. I think it's great for the league. So they've come a long way in that area. All right, all right. Moving forward for this season, coming into Montreal, and gonna have the fan base gonna be there. The expectations are gonna be there. Big difference this season as far as where this team is gonna end up when we look at what happened last year. Bottom of the heap. You've been here. You go the Stanley Cup final next year. The bottom of the heap. Your expectations for this team moving forward.
Um, like I said, optimistic. I think everybody starts with 0 points, and I think that's the best way you can look at it. You're not chasing anybody. You're not ahead of anybody. I think the start of the season is going to be huge. I think the off-season training, everybody coming in ready, not even trying to get a head start. I know everybody does it, but the more we can do to prepare as a team and as a group to be ready for that first game, because I think mentally you got to think the season starts September 1, and that's kind of the way I'm kind of looking at it, and hopefully everybody else is. But there's a lot of things last year that we kind of introduced, and now it's all about kind of executing that plan and kind of learning things as we go again. But the more we can kind of grow and figure out one thing, and then we don't have to worry about it because it's second nature, then we can focus on the next thing. And I think just doing things one step at a time, go a long way. But just being focused and ready to go and get your body in the right shape for 82 games is going to be the way we're going to look at it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Where do you get that body ready? Where do you train the off season?
Yeah, I mean, I train in Detroit. Well, it's Plymouth USA Hockey Arena. So we got a really good group actually. I work out with the three Hughes boys.
Is Brian Galvin your trainer? Is Brian Galvin?
Sure is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good
You know
buddy.
him?
Yeah, he was my trainer
From Chicago, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know him really well. I'm glad I'm happy for him, and it's awesome that he's doing that. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Hughes boys, Andrew Kopp, Zach Wierenski, um, Matt Berniers, who's on Seattle now. That's kind of and Alex Turcotte too. That's kind of our group that we got here. That works out, and then same guys skate, and then it's Kyle Connor. He's also out there, and it's an incredible group. You can't really find that in a summer to all be together in the same place. And I think that's why I kind of want to be here. Is the group that you have around you every day is always working for that same thing, and that competitive level in the gym and on the ice is you're not really going to get that kind of group together and have the same energy level.
Has the team introduced you to French lessons yet? Are you taking any French?
I know there's a teacher that we have access to. I took it in junior high for
Yeah.
4 years, and I can say a little bit, but I couldn't keep a conversation with you for more than like 30 seconds.
Yeah, a
So
little parlez-vous. I'm gonna tell you right
You
now.
offering lessons, Nux? Nux, you offering French lessons or what?
Well, listen, I know every swear, sacrilege, right? Mosi tabarnak, the colis, saints with the Christ, the colis. But eh, I'll give you a little piece of advice. Anytime you get an opportunity, and sometime after game when they name you a star because you're gonna be a star some night, and they hand you the mic, say a couple words in French. You will. That's all they need. You don't have to be bilingual. All they need is merci beaucoup tout le monde or whatever. Um, I survived on one line my whole career, and it was merci beaucoup pour tout le partisan de Canadian de Montreal. That was it, and they friggin' loved it. It's like, oh, he tries to speak French, and again, that's all the people here.
let me use that. Let me use
Yeah,
that.
Say that again? No.
we'll put
Let
one
me write
together.
that down.
We'll put one
Yeah,
together for you. And
perfect.
yeah, listen, it's been a pleasure having you here today. I'm so glad you took the time out of your schedule to come on with us. And listen, you got quite a few years ahead of you here, and I wish you nothing but luck moving forward. And I hope for you and this organization that you get to lift that Stanley Cup above your head one day. I can't wait. So, wishing you nothing but the best moving forward.
Thank you. Really appreciate
Same
that.
here, Cole. Yeah, it's awesome to meet you on here and obviously rooting for you, and it's fun watching you. So obviously I'm rooting for you and wishing you luck too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.